Holocaust Memories Never Forget. Section 3, Edge of the Abyss. Part 3. From Kristallnacht, November 1938, until Germany invades Poland on the 1st of September 1939. We'll continue examining the three other aggressive steps Hitler took in the late 1930s, which opened the door to his full takeover of Western Europe and emboldened him to invade Poland. Number 4. The Sudetenland riots and the Munich Agreement. At the end of World War I, the nation of Czechoslovakia was created, which was also referred to as the Czech-Slovak Republic. Part of this new nation was called the Sudetenland, an area populated by approximately 3 million ethnic Germans, most of whom eventually threw their support behind Hitler and the Nazi Party. The region was heavily industrialized and relied on exports of such goods as glassware, textiles, and paper products. Not surprisingly, the Germans living there were not welcomed with open arms by the local Czechoslovaks. Due to the effects of the Great Depression, which cut exports and raised unemployment to high levels, the Germans living in this region found themselves being discriminated against at an even higher level than before, especially in terms of employment, housing, and pay. With Nazi agitators fomenting civil disobedience in the region, these Germans began to riot in hopes of convincing Czechoslovakia to cede the entire region to Germany. Hitler used this increasingly violent unrest to threaten Czechoslovakia with invasion if they chose to maintain control of this area. Following this threat, high-level representatives of France and England met secretly with Hitler and Mussolini in Munich with no Czech-Slovak presence, and gave in to Hitler's demands if he agreed not to invade Czechoslovakia. With little time to prepare for war, Czech President Edvard Beneš gave Germany full control of the region and paved the way for the eventual annexation of his entire country. Sadly, the Munich Agreement gave Hitler all the proof he needed that no Western power was willing to risk an all-out war to stop him. Number 5. The occupation of Czechoslovakia. President Beneš resigned after the annexation of the Sudetenland, and Emil Hácha took over a shaky Czech government. Continued threats by Hitler in late 1938 caused President Hácha to eventually travel to Munich on the 14th of March 1939, where he was given a choice: cede over the rest of Czechoslovakia or face a full-scale military invasion. When the Czech president balked, Hermann Göring threatened to bomb the city of Prague into rubble within a few hours. On the 15th of March 1939, Hitler's troops marched into Czechoslovakia unhindered, while Hungarian troops marched in on the 16th to annex a smaller part of Czech territory. France and England, rendered impotent for the last 3 years by their desire to avoid another European war, finally signed an agreement with Poland on the 31st of March guaranteeing that they would defend her militarily if Germany invaded. Number 6. The German-Soviet Non-Aggression Pact. Hitler's plan to invade Poland was in full swing by the late summer of 1939, but he knew that Stalin, who had recently signed an agreement with France to protect each other's sovereignty, would never accept German troops on his southern border. Hitler continued his demand to Poland that she must cede over the port city of Danzig, also known as Gdansk, to Germany. At the same time, France and England were negotiating with Stalin for a trade and political alliance to show Hitler that he would be facing Soviet forces as well if he decided to start a war. Measuring his risks, Hitler inked a protective agreement with Italy and continued his less-than-honest negotiations with Stalin to build a stronger political alliance. Foreign Minister Joachim von Ribbentrop thought that offering Stalin part of Poland might be the key to convincing him to end his agreement to protect France. Once Ribbentrop's suggestion was added to the Nazi-Soviet Non-Aggression Pact, Stalin and Hitler agreed to refrain from attacking each other for 10 years. A week later, Hitler invaded Poland from the west. 16 days later, on the 17th of September, the Soviet army marched into Poland from the east.